All right, I'm back again. We're having a little bit of a technical difficulty. Facebook blocked the live because of the music in the background, so I had to cut that off. Once again, this is the Mental Health Moments with HT, featuring 1010 Katendra Wyley. This broadcast is a product of HT Hill Music and Edutainment, LLC, and we are here because it is Mental Health Awareness Month. Gonna see if we can get 1010 on the camera. Let's hope it works this time. Well, I hope it works this time. Yes.
What's up,
Is something
cuz?
Hey,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you really, really well.
Okay, good,
Looks like
good.
it's working. It's working this time. That's good.
Okay.
All
How you
right.
doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
All right, gonna celebrate my nephew 15th birthday today. Shout out to Diddy boy. Happy birthday. You already know. And
Shout out.
today, I don't know how many years Miss Gertie Hill been in the ground and gone away from her, but we miss you, Grandma, and we love you.
Wait a minute. This is the date of her death?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes,
Now,
yes,
I
yes.
remember her birthday. Yeah, September 1st. I can't forget that.
Oh no. No, nobody forgets that. No, nobody forget. I can't forget her death date. No way. Nephew was born on her death date, so I can never forget it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like some other people are trying to get on here too. I see Sterling.
Hello, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you, Sterling. Gonna give some more people a couple of minutes to get on in here. We got Rashawn in the chat. Thank you for joining. Once
Well,
again, this is our mental health moments. With
I
me,
wonder if they would have
HT.
blocked the live if you would have played your music.
They probably would have. Yeah, because my
Okay.
music is copyrighted, and the copyright people would have picked up on it and blocked it, even though it's me on here.
Oh, wow. That's something. Hey, Tiffany.
Hey, Tiffany. Looks like the live is not counting the people properly either, because it looks like it's only one person in
Ain't
here.
that the truth? Is that one person, me?
Yeah, yeah. According to Facebook Live, there's only one person in here. So if there's more people in here, please, please comment so we can know that you are in here, you're listening. Let us know if you're having issues hearing us, and we could try to do what we can to make the sound better. So basically, we're here to talk about coping skills. I got 5 questions for our guest today. We're going to give a little bit of background on ourselves. Pretty much the rules are simple. If you feel like you need to tap out because you're a little uncomfortable, just do this, 1010,
Yeah.
and I'll get the message. We'll just move on to something else. Mental health is such a very sensitive topic. And so you don't know, what buttons it might press. You don't know where it's really going to make you uncomfortable. It might make me uncomfortable in unexpected spots. So it's important. Hey, Tiffany, it's important for us to be sensitive to that and, keep an open mind and also respect each other's boundaries. So basically, that's what we're here to do. We're here to discuss those issues around coping skills, what causes us to have to need to have coping skills. Uh, what is your definition of coping skills, 1010?
So my coping skills is honestly the way I deal with stress and stuff like that. I literally shut down. Like I just shut down, keep to myself, and get into my word, get into my word to try to get understanding of why I'm stressing of certain things that I'm stressing about. And honestly, what I normally stress about is really water under the bridge. But I'm the type of person that I'll shut down on you. I don't care who you is. I don't care how close you are to me. I will shut down on you.
I understand that. Sometimes you need to catch a break from whatever it is, whatever the trigger is, whatever the thing is that's stressing you out. That's important to know, when to stand back from it.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah. Sometimes when you stress about certain stuff, it's really, and I also took this into consideration when it comes to stressing. If it's something that can be changed, then change it. If it's something that can't be changed, let it go. Because there's nothing you can do about it. That's when you have to give it to the Lord. You have to take it out of your hands and give it to Him. If it's something that you can change, I feel like He give us the ability to be able to change it. If we can't change it, pass it on, pass the baton, pass it on over, and keep on moving.
I agree, and that could be kind of tough sometimes. And then you have people that don't believe the same thing that we believe whenever it comes to faith. There's a way for them to cope too. And coping skills is basically refer to the thoughts and the behaviors and strategies that individuals use to manage stressful or challenging situations. Sometimes you can't always remove yourself from the situation that's stressing you, but there's things that you can do within it that can help you out to reduce stress, adapt to whatever changes it is, and maintain emotional control, emotional well-being, and deal with that hard stuff instead of allowing it to take you under. Some of my healthy coping skills, I can say, because there are healthy coping skills and then there are unhealthy coping skills.
Right.
So if I decide to, and this is just an example, if I decide to pick up a drink or go get a whole case and down it every time I'm stressed, is that a healthy coping skill or an unhealthy coping skill?
Nah, that's unhealthy.
It's an unhealthy coping skill. And so that's just one example. Um, there's so many other examples out there, but some of the healthy coping skills that I have are pretty much one of them is what you just said. Identify what it is that is stressing me out and remove myself from that trigger. Remove myself from that trigger. If I can't remove myself, then I can do deep breathing exercises. I can meditate. I can pray.
Yeah.
If it's a person, of course, when it comes to people in conflict, if you are very emotional, emotions get rid of logic sometimes.
Right.
Emotions overtake logic. So whenever two people are extremely emotional and those emotions are high, that's not the time to really be trying to discuss anything. You should calm down first. In my opinion, you should calm down first. And also, disclaimer: neither one of us are therapists. I just want to put that out there. We are nobody's
Far from it.
doctor, huh?
Far from it.
Right.
Far
We
from
are
it.
nobody's doctor. We're nobody's therapist, but we are people who have lived and we continue to live and we have our experiences and we just want to share with those that are coming on the live. Now, my background is in mental health. So I've worked alongside a lot of therapists over the past 6 years, um, working with people of different age groups. And the therapists were the one that came up with personalized plans to help the people program and get to a place where they could function normally in society. And it was my job as a junior therapist to explain what their plan was and help them to go through that process successfully. But there also came a time where I decided to have some therapy myself. So, and then that whole process, I learned a lot of different things from a lot of my experiences that I like to share with people whenever I get the opportunity. So when it comes to coping, You want to make sure that you're doing something that's healthy,
Right.
something that won't hurt you, and something that won't hurt nobody else either.
Right. That's
One
so true.
another thing that I do is, some people don't know about it. It's called grounding. You ever heard of that?
No, I never heard of that.
Yeah, it's when you put your feet on the ground. We did it all the time when we were kids. Basically barefooted outside.
Oh, now that I can contest to. Stay barefooted on McMillie.
Yeah. So what it does is it relaxes you. It even lowers your blood pressure. So and I found that works for me, and it works for a whole lot of people. Just tone out everything else. Take about 10 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes. Go out there and touch the ground. Put them feet on the ground
The ground.
and clear your head. Another coping skill: turn that cell phone off. Don't be answering so many calls. If you are in a place where you feel like you're burnt out, I understand it's important for people to get up with you, and sometimes you may be expecting some calls. I get that, but there is a way to carve out some time. You got to carve out some time for you to take care
Yeah.
of your needs. Yeah, Ian, the feet's on the ground, not the boots in this case, the feet's.
The feet. Barefooted.
It works, y'all. It works. I'm gonna state the obvious, because somebody might do it. Don't go out and do it in the rain, and don't go out and do it in extreme cold. I think if you do it in the rain, you might get the ringworm or something. We're not trying to get that. But that pretty much covers coping skills. You got anything else to say on that?
No, I think you covered it. As long as people know the difference between healthy coping and unhealthy coping, then what I'm saying, they can be able to take some skills in some of the stuff you said and try to do the healthy coping instead of the unhealthy coping. Because the unhealthy coping easy to do.
It's
Anybody can go out there and get a beverage and drink. Anybody can go out there and get some drugs and get high. You know, um, even some people don't think eating themselves to death when they're stressed, but a lot of people do eat because they're stressed, and that's unhealthy. I can see if you were eating healthy food because you're stressed. No, you're eating junk food because you're stressed. And,
Yeah,
that's not a way to do it. And I say if you want to eat because you're stressed, try to eat healthy fruits and vegetables or whatever like that. Put the ice cream down, the chocolate, put that stuff down, and pick up some fruit and vegetables and do that. I,
that
I never had a stressful moment where I would eat myself because I'm stressed. I used to not eat because I'm stressed. And that's why I had to come up with a solution to where if I could fix it, fix it. If I can't, let it go. But also another way a lot of people stress is therapy shopping. They call it therapy shopping.
oh
Stressing
yeah.
because they can't pay a bill, but go will spend their last dime in a store and you already can't pay the bill. Now, how you manage to do that? I
I'm
never put
laughing
up that
because I know
skill, and I
somebody.
never understood. Never understood that. Like you stressing because the bills is piling up, but you will go in the store and
Uh-huh.
therapy shop. I didn't understand now. Now, what you shopping with if the bills ain't paid
You're
and you
right.
can't pay the bills?
You're right.
I'll be trying to hold on to every little dime. Somebody got to get paid, and somebody may have to wait.
You are
But
absolutely correct.
that's that's an unhealthy way of, coping. It's therapy shopping or whatever. Um, I say if you're gonna go shop, it's a lot of places right here that give you stuff for free. Just go on up there and pile up on some free stuff. But
Right.
just a few pointers, and I noticed that a lot of people say they do when they stress. They do those kind of things, and I feel like that's unhealthy because honestly, you causing more stress. You're not getting rid of the stress. You causing more stress, and it's funny how a lot of people say when they therapy shop, it makes them feel better. But soon as you get home, you realize that you shouldn't have done that, and
That's right.
pop you ain't popped the tag off and everything. You went and took it back the very next day. So
That's
I
right.
don't understand that. You might as well just stay home and keep every little penny that you got to try to pay what you need to pay or whoever you owe.
That's right. And you know what? It's probably somebody that do it, right on this live here. No judgment. This is a no
I'm not
judgment.
judging nobody. I'm just trying to understand that kind of stressing. That's me personally. I'm not judging nobody. I ain't here to judge nobody. That ain't my job to judge nobody. Just understanding we talking as people, we, what I'm saying, trying to get understanding, give some people other ways to cope with their stress and other than pulling yourself deeper more into the stress.
Yeah.
And that's it. No judgment here. Whoever therapy shop or stress eat or however you deal with your stress. I'm not perfect. Like I say, I deal with mine how I deal with mine, but this is alive to get it all out there and find a healthier way to deal with your stress. And I hope this live reaches somebody and help them in a mighty way.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah.
Same here. I'm trusting that God will allow that. That
Okay.
people will be open, and you put out some really profound points. Yeah,
All right.
that really happens. Like you spoke on reality. We can't
Yes.
deny that the things you described happens. So hopefully someone will take it to heart and will consider making healthier choices, inspired by this live.
All right.
Why do you think people have a shorter fuse nowadays and get angry quicker?
What's up, Dex? You know what? That's a real good question because when I got that question, I was just like, that was me. I would have a short fuse. Like, and my husband would tell you, I was mean. I was mean to him. And I have calmed down a lot. Baby, I'm sorry. I love you. And you know I love you. I wouldn't still be here with you. But I had a short fuse, and I don't care what it was. It was just you blew the fuse. I go 0 to 100, and I have calmed down a lot. But I feel like what got my fuse so short is my how can I say this? Um, Growing up, you know, less fortunate, not having. Loving someone and not having that love from them or whatever. So it was like a short fuse, and it was just like no matter what people would say to me, whether they took it for good, I would take it for bad. Because my whole life, I felt like my whole life was just bad growing up. Nothing good came out of it. And I'm not going to say my daughter is not a blessing, but I honestly feel like my daughter saved my life. A lot of people would think, oh, you was a teen, you ain't had no business having no child. No, my daughter saved my life. I don't care what you say. That's
You may
my
tell
blessing, and that's my blessing walking.
now, Mr. Wiley, he was in the military, right?
Yes.
You may tell me you was bold enough to rattle a military man's feathers.
Well, that's before he joined the military. See, when he
Oh,
got out
okay.
the military, that's when energy started matching energy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when
And you know,
energy started matching energy. Then I had to pipe down because listen, when that man get mad, I had to sit down somewhere because he mean what he say and say what he mean.
look, the military people different now.
Oh yeah, he. Yes, 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 yes. Hey, Mr. McNeil, we talking on mental health. Uh, not just in the black community, but in many communities. But
Yes.
it really touched the black community in a way that we, don't cope with it good, and we sit there and we just let it keep going on, and we just talk about ways of how to deal with stress.
Yes. The question that was just asked was, why do you think people have a shorter fuse nowadays and they get angry faster? Nowadays, you got people beating up people in the McDonald's parking lot over hamburgers and stuff, and
Yeah, ain't
attacking
so
people in the window and stuff. It just seemed like after COVID came, like COVID affected people differently.
it
And
it is bad. It's real bad. I heard on the radio
yeah.
today a manager shot his coworker because he didn't make the ice cream right or something.
Oh Lord.
I'm like, the ice
Huh.
cream right? Ice cream. Sir, you could have went and just move out the way. I'll make it. You the manager, you should know how to make it. You shot the man because he make it right.
It's like a lot of
So
people are having problems dealing with their emotions, and I think that's what's causing that, those outbursts.
it is, and I feel like it gets to the point where it gets taken out on the wrong person. It builds up so
Yeah,
badly that
yeah,
the next person come along to do something, that's who gets it. Because
yeah.
it's
I
something to
call that
build up.
misplaced. I call that misplaced anger. Yeah, some
Yes,
people get caught up in anger that's not even really meant for them. It's meant for somebody else. Mr. McNeil said, from his experience, the black community has no one to vent to. Family will talk about you. Mental health is real. That's so true.
that's very true.
It's sad to say that you can't really trust family sometimes because they'll be talking about what you said to somebody else. And when you talk about things that are sensitive, you don't want that information to be traveling all
Right, right,
over the place. So when it comes
right.
to the black community, it's like, well, who do we trust? And then another thing, when it comes to the black community and healthcare professionals, we have a history of being done dirty by healthcare officials, and some of them are still being done wrong by healthcare officials. Sometimes the proper measures are not taken on a person because of the color of their skin. Like it's all over the internet. Like you could look up the stories in your own time, but it's still happening in modern days. And
Yeah,
it makes it tough. And then there's the stigmatism that comes along with it when it comes to the black community, where it used to be really bad. I'm not sure if people think that way now, but it used to be if someone said you need to go see a shrink or you need to go see a therapist, it was like, oh, what you saying something wrong with me? What you made that
right,
like? It was like you took an offense to it because it was taken as an insult. You know,
right,
it wasn't encouraged. But now
right.
I'm thankful that people have more of an open mind to go do that, because it doesn't mean that you are wrong as a person. It just means that you might need a little extra help understanding, like what's
Yes.
going on, where it all comes from.
It's
You know,
a root to it.
yeah, there's a root.
There's a root to it, and it started from somewhere. And if you can't go talk to family, you got to go talk to somebody
Yeah,
about it so you can
yeah,
get it out, get it all out. I totally agree with getting it all out
yes.
because
When I was
what
in
it,
the
go
when I
ahead,
was
because
in the mental hospitals working, we had a formula. It was called fear plus hurt plus frustration equals anger. Fear plus hurt plus frustration equals anger. I'm going to say it again. Fear plus hurt plus frustration equals anger. And basically, we would use that to help the patient identify the root, as you said, Tendra, the root of what it is that is producing that anger.
yeah,
Because there's always a reason. And I found that I can even use that in my personal life. Like if I was angry about something, I Immediately now, I say, why am I really bothered by this?
Right.
And then I do a dive into it. And when I think about it, I usually figure it out. And then I realize it's really nothing to really be upset about most of the time.
Nothing. Because as I stated before, if you can take control of it, change it. If you can't, let it go. And I know that's easier said than done, but if you really sit back and put that in perspective in your life, a lot of weight on your shoulders will come off.
Yes, yes. People have to get into the exercise of stopping and reflecting instead of just reacting. Because I
Right.
tell people this too: reacting and responding are two different things.
Two different things.
Most people are running people down in the parking lot, getting upset, shooting people because they are reacting. They're not thinking about how to respond properly to whatever it is that's aggravating them. They're just
Right.
boom, a trigger's hit, boom. Oh, let me do something to make myself feel good, and then
Right.
regret it later. Like Luke said on Players Club, do something to make me feel good.
But that's true, cuz, and I mean, stuff like that, it comes with growth. In your younger years, your mindset is, I'm not about to let nobody play with me.
Uh-huh.
You're not about to play with me. But as you get older and get more mature, you're not about to play with me, but you're not about to stress my life either. Go on about your business. I ain't got time for it. Try me again at another time. And that comes with maturity. Young Hey, young 1010. Baby, I'm fighting everybody. I don't care who you is, man, woman. I be done slap somebody child. But the growth in this 1010, go ahead, because I got too much to lose now. I got too much to lose. That's my mindset. I got too much to lose. But if I got to pay a lawyer, then I just got to pay a lawyer, because you ain't going to put your hands on me. And I'm going to just say, okay, you had that. You had, no, we ain't going to get that far. But the grown 1010 is the type of person that will walk away. And a lot of people think, oh, that's punk move. That's punk move. No, that ain't punk move.
That's strength. That's wisdom. Being
Because
able
I'd
to walk
rather be
away.
sitting at my
Yeah,
own dinner table eating than sitting in the jail cell eating with a bunch of people I don't know. I'm free out here. And now you got to go to sleep when they tell you to. You got to eat when they tell you to. You got to wash when they tell you to. I wash my eggs and grits, and I call it eggs and grits because eggs and grits is good. I wash my eggs and grits when I get ready. Anybody like to tell me when to wash? So, with that being said, on that topic, there you go. Take it how you want to take it. Take it in. Meditate on it. If you stress about anything, if it ain't worth stressing over, you can't fix it. Let it go. If you can, do what you can to fix it.
amen. Do you remember question number 3?
Was it about relationship?
I believe it was. The pad I was looking on died on me. So
I believe it was about relationship.
will you go
Um,
to your messages and see?
yeah. Question number 3 was, why do you think people why do you think people
We got Sherry Bland here. Good to see you, cuz. Good to see you, Sabrina. Good to see you, cousin Skeet. She mentioned family hurt is the worst feeling, but you can overcome it, even if they never admit wrong. I had to learn from experience to let go and let God. 1010, while you finding that, I'm going to expound on that a little bit. I do agree with that. Let go. Some people people do the serenity prayer, there's just some things that we cannot change. I went through a hurt one time, and some of the worst hurt come from those that not only are family, but that are in the church. And some will call you brother, some will call you sister. And this particular guy called me brother. I worked with him. And I forgot what was actually said to me, but at the time it cut me deep to my soul. And whenever I confronted him about it, I did it respectfully. I did it after I calmed down so that it wouldn't escalate the situation. That's one of the things I learned in working in mental health. If you're extremely upset, that is not the time to go and address the person. If that person is extremely upset, it is not the time to go and address them. Calm down first so that you can have a rational conversation and listen to each other actively. Active listening. That means you are actually taking in what they're saying. You're able to hear them and repeat to them what they told you with an understanding. Because sometimes when someone is speaking something to you, they may mean it one way, but you may understand it to mean something different because everybody thinks different. So it's best to say, well, what do you mean by what you said? Do you mean this? Is this what you meant whenever you said such and such a thing? That's communicating effectively. And then if they say, yes, that's exactly what I meant. Okay, you both have an understanding in that moment, then you can move forward, getting some more understanding and getting out of that bad situation. But anyway, to make a long story short, the guy denied doing any wrongdoing to me. And he wouldn't even acknowledge that he disrespected me in the workplace. So I let go best I could. But every time I thought about this guy, every time he crossed my mind, it would piss me off all over again. It was taking my peace away from me. Every time I would cross paths with him, it would upset me. That let me know I hadn't got over it fully. So I went, and this is my experience, I went to God really seriously, and I prayed and I let it go. And it got to a point where every time he would cross my mind, even though I was angry, I would pray. I would pray for God to bless him, to do good things for him. And the more I did that, the less angry I became whenever I had crossed paths with him. And so I fully let it go and was able to speak to the guy again, even though he never acknowledged the wrongdoing. But that was the way that I was able to process and get through those emotions without creating more issues. Now, that's just one example. You may cope another way. Did you ever find it, Tintin?
We're actually on question 4. Monkey branching. We talked about this last night, other night. Monkey branching.
That's where we at now?
We on monkey branching.
Okay. What is monkey branching?
Mm. Opening doors without closing the other door.
Opening doors without closing the other door. Can somebody in this chat type the words monkey branching?
Monkey branching. I'm talking about swinging from tree to tree.
From tree to tree. Monkey branching.
oh, oh,
And we
don't be
go
shy now, because everybody done a bit of monkey branching now. I've done a couple monkey branching.
we're gonna bring it home. Just in case somebody don't understand. 1010 said tree to tree. Now, the trees are the people. That mean you go
Uh,
one person to the next without closing the door on the first relationship. So that's being in a relationship with somebody and you entertaining another relationship with another person. And usually that creates
AIDS.
what
I'm just clear. I'm just
it
messing.
does too. AIDS, HIV, syphilis, chlamydia, the clap, the the crabs and whatever else they got out there, the blue waffle, that puts you at risk for getting all that stuff. Monkey branching. That's right, Evangelist Stevens. Monkey branching. And
Mhm.
that creates side pieces.
My
And no, I'm not talking
side
about
piece.
not like the ones you get at KFC, but we
Mm.
talking about side pieces, and we talking about, what is it called whenever I had it right on the tip of my tongue. The rebound. That's it.
Boy, a rebound.
Rebound. Okay? And some people mess around and they marry the rebound because they
Mm-hmm.
can be in a relationship, and they still emotionally attached to the other person, but they get something different from another person.
Mm-hmm.
And so they are entertaining that other person. And sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes they might lose their emotional connection with the main squeeze, and they feel like they can talk to somebody else a lot better, and it becomes more than what they expect it to be. Some people do it unintentionally, no judgment here, but we're talking about this because it needs to be talked about, because it puts you at risk for a lot of things, conducting
Nah, I can
your
agree
life.
with that. That is true. I can contest the monkey branching. See, we all did a monkey branching when we were younger now, because we was all out there testing the waters and see what different fish we can catch out there in the sea. Now I can truly say that my monkey branching probably wasn't as bad as some other people. My monkey branching was actually talking to a lot of guys. I would have a lot of guys under my belt. Like, okay, if you don't want to talk to me no more, out next, whoever in line next. But in the midst of monkey branching, yes, I was entertaining other guys, but only one person was actually getting the real me, you know, sexually, getting the real me. I wasn't too big on jumping from guy to guy to guy to guy. And I can truly, honestly say, I've never had a sexually transmitted disease, ever. And, and I've had with guys that had sexually transmitted disease, but they never gave it to me. I don't know if it was God covering me, but I can truly say I've never had a sexually transmitted disease from the time I started being sexually active to right now. And my mate, my husband, he's never had one. So we got this thing. So we already know if somebody gets something, somebody showed out. Somebody showed
I tell you
out.
what, monkey branching is one way to make the wheels fall off your wagon.
It sure
By the
did.
time by the time you decide you ready to finally get married, that's just not a good. It's not a good way to be. And I really believe in my heart, whenever a relationship does not work, it's not just one person's fault. There there's some accountability that needs to be taken by both parties.
Yeah.
And so there's something, even if you're not aware of it right away, and it takes time sometimes to realize, okay, yeah, I did this in the relationship, I did that, and it didn't help our relationship, it hurt it. Like, what have you done that either helped or hurt your past relationship, and what can you learn from that, so that whenever you decide to get into another relationship, you won't take that baggage into that one and cause the same issues. I see a lot of
Right.
people, they forget to, and some of them don't know that it's good to take time to be single.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with singleness. Learn who you are. Learn what you really want in life. Learn yourself. Get some counseling. Experience
Yeah.
life as a single person
That
for a
is
while.
true.
It's okay. And
That is true.
somebody will come along eventually and match your energy and appreciate the person that you really are. Because sometimes it's not that the relationship didn't work out because you two bad people. or one person is bad. You can be two good people, just not good for each other. I'll say
Yes.
that again. You can be two good people in a relationship, but just not good for each other.
And that's
And it's
something that you have to cope with. No matter how much you love someone, if if it ain't working, you have to let that person, because you don't, if the signs are there, God has made man for women and women for men. He already know who he has sent to be your mate in this world. And we tend to fall off that road because I live by this motto, and it took me a while to get here, but I think what got me to this motto was when I did become a teen mom, was that I had to give up what I like in order to get what I needed. I'm gonna say that
mm,
one more time. I had to give up what I like in order to get what I needed. What I liked it was red men. Now y'all see my firstborn child, red as ever. I loved it. Red, dread head, sexy looking things.
red
That was my thing.
dread.
That was my thing. Oh, you couldn't tell me nothing about a red thing. I don't care who, oh, honey. That was what I loved it. And that was
Okay,
no
break
good
it
for
down.
me.
Break it
That
down
was
for
no
me.
good for me because every man that I encountered was red, dread-headed. Whether it was mixed, he looked it red. He was mixed, he looked it red. He looked. I wanted it. And I never got what I wanted out of that person. So I had to give up what I liked in order to get what I need. And as y'all can see, what I liked is totally different what I got. My husband bald headed. Now he bit a hair on his head and I loved it. I, had, I had to cope with that because a long time I couldn't stand it. I was like, why you gotta be bald headed?
So he was
But
bald headed when y'all met.
he was not bald headed when we met. He got bald headed throughout his military career.
Don't tell me,
And I had to
don't
cope with
tell me
that.
you don't took all the
I
hair out of his head now. You
wearing
did
all
that.
the hair off his head. I did that. I believe I did that. But I feel like that was my sign to God that I'm gonna give you what you need. And what you need ain't what you like. And we've been married for 12 years now. No, my marriage ain't perfect because we two imperfect people doing this thing. Nothing perfect about neither one of us. We just doing it. We just doing it. And we're not giving up on each other because it's easy to throw the towel in on a marriage because you're tired of people and you can't deal with them. But it's another reason to throw in the towel on a person because, like Tyrone said, if it ain't meant for y'all to be together, every sign that you're looking for is gonna be given. I haven't got that sign yet, so I'm sticking beside
I have to add in there, you two are one of my favorite couples.
it.
I keep saying it. I love seeing you two together. I can see that the love is real. We got Prize Chick said date yourself, talking about being single before jumping into another relationship. And Tashika said love you first before you try to love someone else. That's so true.
That is
You
so true.
gotta you gotta love you and you gotta love being around you because if you don't love being with you, who else is gonna love being around you?
For real. If you don't love you, how you expect somebody else to love you?
Yes. So the
Because you
next question,
honestly, you're not giving a person your all if you don't love yourself.
yeah,
You giving them half of you. If you don't love yourself, you can't give another person 100% of yourself if you're not loving yourself.
that's true.
And that's another way a relationship will fail too, because you're not giving your all. A person can be giving them your 100%, you giving 50 because you're not loving yourself.
How do you know that it's real love? Like that's a perfect segue into that next question.
Now that was a hard one. When I thought about that one, that was a hard. But only thing that came to mind was when I knew that it was real. Of what I have is that I had went to God about it. I went to God about it, and um, for a long time, me and Henry was trying to have a child, and it was not working in our favor. and we were not seeing eye to eye as well at the time. And I went to God about it. I said, God, is this the man you sent to me? Because if this the man you sent to me, give me a sign. Now, sometimes you gotta be careful what you ask God for, because He gonna give it to you, whether you like it or not. He gonna give it to you, but you asked for it, so He gave it. And at the time, me and Henry was going through fraternity clinics to find out why we can't get pregnant. They wasn't too bad worried about me because I already had a child. They were more seeing if it was something going on with him. Before we could get back any results from anything going on, I thought that I was pregnant. And that was one of the things that I questioned God, that I said, I feel like this ain't the man you sent to me, because I would have a child by this man by now. And he said, I be careful what you ask me, because I'm gonna give it to you. And he gave it to me. He gave me my Kanani. So I will never question God again about the man that he sent to me. And not only did he not send that man to me, he sent that man to me way before I even had Kiaja. And that man told me in high school that he was gonna marry me. Ain't nobody married about no marriage in high school. You go on somewhere, son, because ain't nobody studying that. He was mine then, but as I said it before, he wasn't my type. I went to somewhere that I wanted, that redhead, dreadhead thing. But my husband was right there with me the whole time in high school, and I passed him by every how, hiding from him, and I'm with him today. I tell that story with anybody. That's my boo baby. That mine right there. Don't get cut over that. That's mine
It's
right.
amazing.
That's what God sent me.
It's, it's amazing how we evolve as people. And I think it's safe to say, and I know you'd agree with me, that the people that we are today, 5 years ago, even though we carry the same name, like we have a different mindset now. We're not the same person.
No.
So there's some relationships we can look back on. There's some things that we can look back on, situations like, dang, what in the world was I thinking?
What was I
Because,
thinking?
yeah,
I
because my
dodged
mind,
that bullet is what I call it.
yeah,
I dodged that one.
you know, when it comes to love, one thing that I learned over the years is that love is a verb. It must be done. It can't just be simply spoken. And then
Yes.
people are doing everything else that don't even look or feel like love. Like
Right.
if you love me, it means you have my best interest at heart.
You
If you
showed
love
it.
me, yeah, you're gonna show it. If you love me, it means that you're not gonna turn against me. Like there's a friendship there. And I think a lot of people miss those important elements that, like with love, and I've come across couples that have been together for 60, 70 some years, and they still love being close to each other, and not nothing sexual, but they still have that intimacy, because after a certain amount of years go by, you're not going to be on each other like that. Red pill,
Mm-mm.
red pill or blue pill. It's just not
Ain't it?
going. You're not going to be on each other like that. But are you friends?
Yes.
Really love each other? Do you really want? Are you really on this journey, on this path together as partners? Do you have a friendship? Do you have intimacy?
Right.
Do they see the real you? Do they see the real you? Are you bringing the real you to them, or are you bringing a facade, something that you think will get them to like you and
Right.
commit? Like what happens whenever people first take an interest in each other. And I learned this: there's infatuation, and then there's real love. And in the beginning of the relationship, each person is always on their best behavior, right? Because
Yeah.
you want to impress that person, you want them to stick around. And so the best thing to do is to date for a while. Give it time. Don't rush into no marriage. Give it time so you can really get comfortable around each other. Get vulnerable with each other. Let your guard down and really see who you are. See who that person is in spring, summer, winter, fall.
Right.
See how
I
that
can
person,
contest to that, because I
yeah.
I can.
See
What's
how,
that movie? Steve Harvey came out with about the moon.
uh,
What is that? Somebody put in the comments.
to my what?
What's the name of that movie?
Was it
Think
something about how men
like a
think?
man. Think like a man. Think like a man.
What about it?
When that movie came out, one of the things that caught me my attention about that movie was when he said that when it comes to a new relationship, test that person by putting them on a 30, 60, 90-day hold before you have sex with them and see if they
Okay.
stick around. Then you would know that that person actually wants you and not your body. I did that with Henry. I did the 30, 60, 90-day rule with him. And he stuck around. He did not I'm telling you, he did not miss a beat. He didn't worry me. He didn't stress me about it. He stuck around. And that's why I know that he generally want me and not what I can give him as far as my body, because I had been used a lot by men for my body, and I wanted to see if he was going to be like the other people that I encountered with that I thought that liked me for me and not my body. And he passed it with flying colors. And I said, "Oh no, y'all can't have that. I'm sorry, y'all whoever messed up. Thank you." Thank you. I'm glad you messed
Yeah.
up.
For those that are
So
just coming on, we're talking about monkey branching, and the main topic is coping skills. But the word of the week is monkey branching.
yes. So that's another thing. Like you said, if a person genuinely love you, it will show. They will show it 24/7, 7 days a week,
Even when
365.
even when
They will
they
show
don't
it.
like it. Even when they don't like it, because you're not always gonna like each other. And another thing is to find out how they deal with conflict. That's very important. You need to have an argument. I'm not saying to force an argument or anything like that, but eventually you're gonna have a disagreement, and you need to know how someone handles disagreements. Are they gonna haul off and beat the piss out you when they get angry, or
Yeah.
are they gonna respect your space? How does their family handle conflict? You know what? Whenever it comes to love, and you get a room of like 50 people together, not even 50, but 10 people, and you ask them, give me the definition of love. Each one of them has their own idea of what that is based on what they were shown as they were growing up.
Yeah.
That's why these therapists will most likely ask you about your childhood, because in childhood we learn so many things that affect the way we respond in our adulthood, because it creates like a subconscious record in our head. And so that's another beauty of self-reflection and getting into counseling and everything. You learn why, you learn the root of why you do what you do and why you react the way that you react. You don't have to be diagnosed with anything to go get some counseling or do some self-reflection. And so I think it's very important to know somebody's upbringing, to know how they relate to their family, learn how that man acts around his mother. If he's very respectful to his mother, chances are chances are high that he's going to be respectful to you. So when you're getting a person, you're getting a conglomerate. You're getting a mixture of all of these things: upbringing, their past history, type of people they used to date, all, all of that, all of those experiences, and some trauma, because none of us are perfect. But what love will do is love will choose you. It'll choose you every day. I tell people this too: love is a choice. Even if I'm angry with you because I love you, I'm not going to throw you away. I'm going to choose you. No, I may not always have the butterfly feelings. I may not always feel like he and ha ha, and I might not feel the head over heads all the time, but there's a difference in being in love and in loving. You're not always going to feel that fresh in love feeling that you get in the beginning. You see what I'm saying? And some people some people don't some people don't realize that. And so when they lose that, they feel like, okay, it's over. I need to find something else. I need to find another supply. I need to find somebody that makes me feel like I did when I first met this one over here. And that's what causes that monkey branches, the branching. Some will use the term, they'll use the phrase, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. That's a big one. So I want to go here to this person where I feel like I'm listened to. I feel like they hear me, but I'm still in a relationship over here with this one. But I'm gonna get what I need from this one. And then it snowballs into something else. And you wonder, how did I get here? What is the root of the problem? Have you really did any self-reflection? Have you really dug deeper to find out what's really going on? Looks like we have a little bit of technical difficulties. 1010, you still there? Oh, we got some technical difficulties here. Who's still in the chat? Put a comment in the chat if you're still in here. And just a reminder, this live is about mental health. It's a mental health wellness moment with HT Hill Music and Edutainment, LLC, featuring 1010, our guest. I spoke with her earlier. She had to go, and I knew that she had to go. I'm going to take this time to inform you about, hey, y'all. Thank you for responding. Thankful that thankful that 1010 was able to get on and give us some words. She gave us some really great points. So we started a series called Inside Eddie. Most of you on here probably watched it. Inside Eddie, there's some depth to that story. Part 2 is coming out pretty soon. We usually try to release an episode every year during Mental Health Awareness Month. So Mental Health Awareness Month this year is May, and we're looking to have it released by the end of this month. So I'm gonna give you a little background about Inside Eddie, and if you have any questions about Inside Eddie, feel free to type them in the comments, and I'll answer them as best as I can. Eddie simply represents trauma. Eddie was this businessman who was successful, and he found out success was not the cure for his issue. He had some trauma in his life, but he was still able to become a successful businessman. But what happened was he did not address that trauma properly. And so he began to spiral out of control. When you look up the definition of the name Eddy, an eddy is a circular current that forms in the ocean that destroys everything that it comes in contact with. And so that's basically what the main character of our series does. He has trauma that's undealt with. So he's a mess, and he disrupts all of the lives that he come into contact with. And whoever he comes in contact with, they are also forced to deal with their trauma. And it gives us a chance to showcase different mental health issues, which is a very broad field. So that's Inside Eddie in a nutshell. So it's about time for us to wrap up this live. Does anybody on here have any questions about Inside Eddie? Any feedback to add on what we discussed? All right. If you have not watched Inside Eddie, let's see, I'm going to see if I can put the link. Looks like I don't have the link. Go to the HT Hill page, and you'll see the link for Inside Eddie right up under the cover that says Inside Eddie on my profile. If you need to get caught up on the series, watch the first episode, go to that link and watch, and then keep a watch on my page for the announcement of part 2 of our episodes. Thank you for watching tonight, and I hope this live was helpful and inspirational. Shalom. Thank you all.